Good morning, everybody. Today, we're going to grab this wagon. It's still up here from harvesting the garlic. I'm going to go down to the garden before it gets extremely warm out. Right now, it's about 75, and I think it's 80-something% humidity. So before it gets too bad out, we're going to go and pull some onions, and we're going to tend the July garden. First, I'm going to go give my cats their morning milk. And then we're going to head to the garden. For your morning milk. Come on, buddy. Come on. Uh-oh, too many cats on a shelf. Uh-oh. Okay, buddy. Always refresh their water, too. You gonna say good morning, Cindy? Are you gonna say good morning and get your belly rubs? Yeah. Yeah, get your belly rubbed. Elliot. Hi, Elliot. That's an everyday, twice-a-day chore, but they like it, and I usually spend some time in there with them. And then, as I'm coming into the garage... Hi! We just built this garage, and we haven't got the cement done yet, so these ladies, they like to find a place to dust bathe. And they're doing a good job. A little pit stop real quick and grab a harvest basket. I think I might grab 2. And a bushel basket. Harvest day is also lawn mowing day. Weed whacking, where the smoke's not so bad and the heat's not so bad. Yep.
Morning, guys.
So it's going to be a busy morning and we want to get going. The sun right now is hitting me, but once I actually enter my garden here. So once I enter the garden, this little bit right here has sun. Then over here has a little bit of sun, but the rest is shaded. So what I like to do is try to get the parts that the sun's going to hit first done. But we're going to get some of these onions pulled, even though it's right at 90 days almost. But they're bending over, so any ones that are bent over, I'm going to yank them all out. We're going to go through, weed this bed really well, because there's, again, so many tomatoes. So many tomato plants here. Yesterday I did harvest some of my round zucchini. I'm not sure how big it should be, but the one I picked yesterday was pretty big, so I'm going to actually do some research on that one. I also was down here yesterday, added about, we got some strawberries to pick. I added another, I think about 10 or 12 more of these cups for runners. I know I probably have a good 10 more to put in pots. And then I added these poles that I had taken out from these beds, which works out perfect because this netting isn't heavy, but the onions are so weak that it was just slightly bending them. So before they actually all laid over like the other bed, I thought I'd go through and give them just a little bit more space. The weeding, I've never had this issue so bad. So we're gonna just tend to little maintenance things like that today in the garden. And then as soon as I get to a point where the sun's too much in here, my main focus is I'm gonna take care of the center island where my perennials are. Get that weeded and weed whacked. So it's, like I said, it's going to be a busy day today, and I'm just going to try to do as much as I possibly can. The bed that I pulled the garlic from, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of clean all the mulch that's on top of it off, cleaning up the plants, and we're just going to hightail around here and get this stuff done. This head right here is pretty massive. And it's pretty hard. There's a couple of them that are a little bit smaller, but there's another one over on this side that's even bigger, and it's pretty hard. So I think some of my cabbage can be pulled out. This one as well. That one's pretty tight. at the size of those onions. Alright, so I pulled quite a bit of the Walla Wallas out, and I noticed a few of the red onions where they're looking to me like they should be pulled out. And these are all tomato plants and then some grass. So I'm just gonna go clean this up. Lots and lots and lots of tomato plants. I've tried to put it online. Nobody's interested in wanting any tomato plants. So in the bucket they go. And I noticed, which is so weird because I come in here all the time, this right here, this whole thing is a big grass. I'm gonna have to cut it down. I want to pull it, but it is so close to that bulb. That's why I always stress about getting in your garden. I mean, they can slip away, but if I yank that, I'm sacrificing that onion. So we're just gonna let it be for a little bit. This is another big one right here that I'm just gonna leave until these onions need to be pulled. Probably another 30 days. Unless it starts bugging me too much, which it probably is, so I'll just probably yank those out. But alright, I waited and waited and waited a bunch of little tomatoes. There's a cluster kind of right down in here. I'm gonna leave it just because I noticed there's a spider web, so who knows, that might be beneficial, so I don't mind leaving it. But I did yank out these really big grass. Look at that. Which did yank out a bulb. It was kind of like that do not press the button sign, and there's a button there and then your temptations overtake. So yeah, that got yanked. Alright guys, I think I'm going to pause the garden real quick. It's already getting pretty hot out here. The sun's about to peek up over the trees, so I'm going to go do my weed whacking that I have to do real quick, and I just have to push mow some stuff. Then I'm going to come back in here, finish all the glorious things that need to be done in a July garden, and then I can come back in here. The trees that are above me, if I could show you guys, they're pretty tall and they will shade me enough to get everything else that I need to get done here in the garden. So in the meantime, garden bed almost took me out, but that's okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna rush out there and get this stuff done. Weed whacker. We're good on fuel. It looks so much better. Our whole front yard. We're gonna turn the sprinkler on too. Okay, I had to take a break from the lawn, get these onions out of the sun. I just got another rack, another sawhorse, and I'm just going to lay them out just like this. This is the one white onion that I pulled because that big grass was growing right by it, so it's okay. So we're gonna get these laid out the same way. I'm just gonna lay it down like this. I'm just kind of like back and forth, just staggering. I'm just, you know, to have that ample airflow. Look at these onions though. Look how big they are. Super impressed. Then you That's like almost 30 onions right here, and then I just pulled those 7 red onions at the end there. It's not too bad, and there's many more to be pulled. So we're gonna go back to the garden because we still have a bunch more to do down there, and now the sun's up. So it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle with the sun and the heat, but we're gonna get it done. And this bed is the bed we just pulled the garlic from. The soil is, I mean, that's a good 6 inches down. So I'm limited of what to replant in here, because it only leaves about 7 inches of soil in this bed. I think this half I'll do some more beans and or carrots. So I think we'll do half carrots, half green beans. The beans will put in some nitrogen in here, which is a fixer for the soil. But I'm going to clean up the walkways here as I'm trying to prep these beds. So that's what we're going to do first. Let's get the walkways cleaned up, and then we will plant some seeds. I left this volunteer tomato plant. We're going to see what it does. It's got all its flowers on it, so I'm just going to leave it here. But I did go and just clean up this walkway. I cleaned up this walkway. And I did, as I was going down to the ends, I did around the pots here. This is pretty much my stopping point, so we'll get to it though. This is the trays that I had in the garden the other day. I'm just going to go and pick through the soil and pick out some stuff and fill these little cells up again. We're going to get some carrot seeds started. I came inside, made myself a little matcha drink here. So we're going to try to refresh and then get back out there. I brought down my bean seeds, so we will get a few beans planted as well. And as always, it's going to be my Kalima beans. And what I'm going to do is just drop every 4 or 6. I'm not really measuring, just every like 4 or 6 inches. I'm going to drop a bean and then I'll just lightly cover them up. All right. It's been a long day getting stuff done in this garden. I alone got 5, almost 6 5-gallon pails of weeds that I weeded just from the walkways. The only bed that I pulled weeds out of was this onion bed. And I am burnt and I'm exhausted. I've got the beans planted today. This whole row back here was like a jungle. So I'm pretty impressed with the work I did. It looks pretty amazing down here now. Like I said, there was a lot of work that went in today all day, and I just kept pushing forward and pushing forward. Even took some time to get the boat running, which was exciting. So now we can relax and go out on the water and go fishing. But yeah, this is what the garden's looking like. Now it is time for me to go inside. He's got the grill running. We're gonna throw some burgers on it. A couple baked potatoes. Not sure what else on the side, and we're just going to relax for the evening. Thank you for coming along and just looking into a little bit of our day, that what we do around our little garden and homestead.
To who? Mmm. Tasties. We don't eat vegan around here.